Hello everyone, welcome to Taksha by MeroSiksha. I am Vivechana Sharma, and today I am here with the grammar questions. So I have brought the question that is supposed to appear in your question number 9, and in your question number 9 you'll be provided with the 6 different sentences, and you are supposed to reproduce being based on the instructions provided in the bracket. Now without further delay, let us get into the questions. So the first question reads, all is well, and we are supposed to supply a correct question tag. So now whenever we are providing a question tag, we should be very watchful about the provided verb in the statement. First of all, go check the verb, and then always remember that whenever we are supplying a question tag, the number one rule is, if the statement is in affirmative form, the question tag will be in negative form, and if the statement is in negative form, the question tag is supposed to be in affirmative form, positive form, right? So here the provided statement is in affirmative form, and we are supposed to create the question tag in a negative form. And what would be the negation of is? What would be the negation of is? Of course, it is isn't. Negation of it is isn't, and the pronoun that we can use for the subject all is it. It's simple. So isn't it? Now let us move to the question number B. So in the question number B, we are provided the statement, this room needs painting, and we are supposed to change this into yes no question form. So the first and foremost thing that you are supposed to do is, you should be always remembering the structure. So what comes in your mind when you see the instruction provided to in a bracket? What would be the structure for the yes no? What would be the structure when you are asked to change any of the statement in the yes no question form? So of course, I have also presented the statement. I have also presented the structures over there. You can see. So the statement, what are you supposed to do? Whenever you are asked to change into yes no question, you should remember the structure. And the structure would always be auxiliary verb plus subject, and then the main verb, and then the rest of the sentence. So now, in order to select the proper auxiliary verb, you should also be identifying in which tense the sentence is provided. Here, this room needs painting. So needs passes us the insight that the sentence provided to us is in a present tense, right? And now, as the sentence provided to us in a present tense, and what is the auxiliary verb that we use whenever we ask a question, whenever we pose a question in present tense? Either we use do or does, right? So now, being based on the subject, we are supposed to select the appropriate auxiliary verb. Now let us find it out. What will be the appropriate answer? Now I've also provided you the structure. Now you're just supposed to change this, reproduce the new statement being based on the structure. So yeah, did you guys give a try? So yeah, so now, being based on the verb, what would be the auxiliary verb over here? So does, subject is this room, does this room need painting? Does is auxiliary verb over here, this room is the subject, need is the main verb, painting is the rest of the sentence or the object, and then the question mark. Now let us move to the another question, that is number C. And in this another question, we are supposed to change this into indirect speech. So whenever you are asked to reproduce the sentence, you should be very watchful about the tenses. And in order to know in which tense the sentence is provided, we should be identifying the verb. And as you identify the verb, you will be able to know in which tense the sentence is provided. So here the statement provided to us is in which tense. So now let us find out which one is verb. Here am reading is the verb. This passes us the inside that. This is the reading is the verb form of the read. So this is the ing form, and this am passes the inside that. We are provided the statement in present continuous tense. Now, in which if the statement is provided to us in a present progressive or the present continuous tense, what would be the statement? What would be the tense that we are supposed to change into whenever we are changing into indirect? The direct speech is provided to us in a present continuous form, and now as we have to reproduce the indirect speech, what would be the tense that we are supposed to shift into? So we should be also shifting the tense when we are changing into indirect speech. So we are supposed to change into a past continuous tense or the past progressive tense. In order to make you guys clear, I have also mentioned the structure over here. Whenever we are provided the sentence that is in a present progressive or the present continuous tense, we are supposed to change that into past progressive or the past continuous tense. Okay, so now let us change it. So what would be the past form of the am reading? So the past form of the am reading, what would be the past form of the am reading? So it's was reading, right? Now let us change the pronouns and all. So yesterday she said. In indirect speech, we are reporting something that has been said to us, whenever we are changing into indirect speech, you always remember that you are reporting something. You are reporting the statement that has been said to you by somebody. You should be also watchful about the changing the pronouns, and the time factor also changes. So here yesterday she said. Who said? She is the one who said. What she said? I am reading a book now. Now let us change into past progressive form. So now we have already changed the verb. Now let us change the other ideas. Yesterday she said that she was reading a book then. Now changes into then. So now let us move to the another number, that is number D. So Arunima collected the rubbish from her garden. Now we are supposed to reproduce the passive voice of this statement. So whenever you are reproducing passive voice, you should also be watchful about the tense. And in order to recognize the tense, you should be identifying the verb. So now the collected is the verb over here in the statement. Yes. So now as the verb is collected, we can easily identify that the provided sentence to us is in a simple past form. And now if the sentence in the active voice is in a simple past form, how are we supposed to change? What are the changes that we are supposed to make when we are changing in the passive voice? Any idea? So now whenever we are changing, whenever the active sentence is provided in simple past form, we are supposed to change. Whenever you are changing into passive form, we are supposed to change the simple past form by adding was, were plus was 3. Always remember that whenever we are changing, I have also mentioned over here, we should be changing simple past. If the sentence is in a simple past, whenever we are changing in a passive form, we are supposed to change the simple past adding was, were plus was 3, right? And also we should be changing the position of the object and the subject as well. So here Arunima collected the rubbish from her garden. Now first of all, let us change the tense. So now let us change the tense first. So what would be, as per the rule, what would be the what are we supposed to write when we are changing this collected in the passive form? We are supposed to write was and the verb 3 of collected, this remains same. So Arunima collected the rubbish from her garden. Now we already had an insight that we should be writing was plus verb 3. Now we already wrote as well. Now let us change the other ideas like subject and the object. So Arunima collected the rubbish from her garden. So now what are we supposed to do? So now here Arunima is the subject, collected is the verb, the rubbish is the object, and from a garden is the rest of the sentence, right? So now we are also supposed to shift the position of the subject and the object. So whenever we are changing into the passive voice, we are supposed to emphasize on the action rather than that of the agent. So as we are supposed to emphasize on the action, what will be appropriate over here? So the appropriate idea would be the rubbish was collected by Arunima from her garden, or the rubbish was collected from her garden by Arunima. So now let us move to the fifth question, that is, we dash finish our exams by the end of this month. Now we are provided verb in the bracket and now we are supposed to put this in a correct form. So after reading this sentence, you guys might have been very clear that the end of this month passes us the insight that the speaker is indicating the speaker is indicating about something, or the speaker is indicating that the examination will end by the end of the month. So that is the exam is yet to end. So the speaker is referring to a future tense. That means, so what would be the appropriate verb over here? Of course, will finish. We will finish our exam by the end of this month. Will finish. Now last number, we are supposed to reproduce the negative form of the provided statement. So, and the statement reads, small children like cartoon shows very much. So now whenever we are changing into the negative form, we should be very watchful about the provided idea. So now small children like cartoon shows very much. So here also we should be, so how are we supposed to change into negative? You should remember the structure first, and I have also mentioned the structure for your convenience. So the structure would be subject plus auxiliary verb, and the auxiliary, make sure that as we are changing into negative, the auxiliary verb must contain the negation form as well, and then the main verb and the object and the rest of the sentence. So now being based on this structure, let us change. You guys are also supposed to give it a try. Small children like cartoon shows very much. So here like is the verb. Now we are supposed to change this like into negative form. Small children like cartoon shows very much. What would be the negation of the like? Not like or dislike. So now small children, they dislike cartoon shows very much. Now what are we supposed to do? Now we are being based on the subject, we are supposed to select the verb. So here the subject reads small children. So what would be the appropriate auxiliary verb over here that we are supposed to use? So of course this children is passing us the insight that this is in a plural form. So whenever Subject is in a plural form. What are we supposed to do? So, the small children like cartoon shows very much. We are supposed to use, as we are changing this, as we are supposed to add the auxiliary verb, we are supposed to add here do, being based on the subject that is provided us in a plural form. So, small children do not like cartoon shows very much. So, this is how we are supposed to change. Thank you.